Hey, hello everyone, welcome to today's update. Another decent day in the market. After a bit of weakness yesterday, we were able to gain about 40 basis points. Here we're looking at the SP 500 that seemed to, want to continue to push higher. The move came on a pretty strong volume, if you can see down here. After a lower volume day yesterday, quite a bit of buying, especially later in the session. We're holding this trend line, so definitely a very I think important move in here as we're trying to finish up the month of August. So a good move in here. I continue to favor the upside. We'll take a look at the wave counts because yesterday I forgot at the end of the video that I was supposed to go over the S&P and the IWM to kind of show you the wave counts in there. And I just realized I'm like I'll just do it today. Bitcoin, it's been moving well. It's been starting to recover, like we were kind of mentioning briefly yesterday, coming into these levels of support again from near June and May in here. So it looks good. I mean, we're picking up in volume as well. If we can manage to get above this level up here, I think that's going to be hopefully triggering the next move to the upside. So a little bit of a shakedown after a failed breakout, but I do continue to like it in here, and I've talked a bit more in detail yesterday about it. I don't want to repeat all of that. And then Ethereum holding very nicely its 50-day RSI and also the 20-day, which it's being respected quite nicely, and it's kind of what you want to see in uptrends, followed by that 50-day as a defense. I mean, you can see on the downside in here, every bounce into that 20-day kind of got rejected. So it's just a basic trend following system when you use the moving averages, and it's not as simple as this shows, right? Because there's shakeouts and but with the kind of well-established system, knowing exactly what you want to do, what you look for when you approach a moving average, where your stops are, and you are willing to, even if you get stopped out, you got to be willing to kind of step back in if you see a reaction. But it continues to show that the market respects that. So here Ethereum, continuing to look fairly strong and remains in an uptrend there. Now I wanted to show you this. AAII bulls and bears. You probably have seen it in different shapes or forms in other instances, but it's just surprising to me that we continue to have these red lines, which shows more bears than bulls when we are at the market that's near all-time high. So this is extremely interesting. It's been kind of the case ever since we started to recover from the lows and during this rally. And there's just, I mean, I don't understand why is there such a like people don't trust this market, or they're not participating, they're fighting it, or something weird is going on in here. They could be right, I don't know, but so far the market continues to go higher in spite of that. And I mean, we've had a couple of weeks in here where the bulls starting to kind of overtake the bears, but for the past 4 weeks, it's just all it took. It was a little shakedown here, at the beginning of August, to send people back to being bearish. And it's curious how we're going to be this week. I'm very, very interested. But based on the sentiment, I would say we go higher. So we'll see what happens. Some of the wave counts, can show that we could be towards the top, but again, without confirmation, it's tricky. So here is the S&P, and I've had this wave one for a long time. It's just not giving signs of being over. And if it is, I'll show you an alternate. That means that maybe a wave two is done as well. So we're, even if you're getting a pullback, I think that we're in the middle of a much larger bull market here in a larger wave three. So I would kind of tread carefully being too negative. And here is one scenario in the S&P where you have your 1, 2, 3 down in 4, and then you're in some kind of an extended fifth wave where we go in a 1, 2, a larger third, 4, and then 1, 2 in here, and then 3, 4, and 5 to find a top somewhere up there. We don't know exactly where that's going to end up, but we're going to let it develop. But then, this is kind of the even more bullish scenario where you're looking at it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for a wave 1, and then the drop in the beginning of the month, that was a wave 2, a very short wave 2, and now you're going in a 1, 2, and you continue to go. So you can see between the two, one says that we still have to go, and the other one it's like that. If you look at this, sure, you could say, well, Chris, what if this is the wave 5 top right there, and this moves here, and that's the top? Well, if that's the top, we got to get back below this level and start to do something like that, and then that wave 2 finds a low somewhere here, or maybe back into this area, right? But you got to start selling off, and the way the market is behaving in here, especially with today's action, I don't know. It doesn't seem that would be the bet to make, right? So Elliott Wave, it is subjective like a lot of other methods, so there's a lot of leeway in here in kind of how we're looking at waves, and but I always try to respect the trend, and the average price, the way it's moving, how far we are above the 20, above the 50, above the 200, and try to stay with that count as positive as possible for as long as possible, to keep me in the market without getting shaken out. So if that's the case here, and wave 2 is done, we have a lot further to go. It's not going to be in a straight line, but so far, the lows are holding. So, we continue to look at the major lows that the market forms, and one of them was this one. Then you can see them, right? This wasn't even taken down. Then you have this guy as a defense. I would continue to, maybe this one, you could use, but I would for sure use this one. It's kind of being a line in the sand, and then you have this level back here. If you're looking at IWM with the Russell, and this is kind of what makes me place a wave 2 here as well, because for the Russell, it looks like that could have been a wave 2 low, the way Russell is kind of acting. So, we're looking for a wave 1 in the Russell of a wave 2 blue, which means, wave 3 is in progress right now and should be making new all-time highs. And if we look at the kind of the detail in here a little bit, you can see how nicely you have, and this is a beautiful expanded flat in the Russell, where you go 3 waves down. Remember, an expanded flat, it's 3 waves down, and then you have 3 waves up to a new high, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to a new low. If I can connect that, right? And then you go. So you have a market that does this, right? It starts here, and this is the first section of the move with 3 waves, a 3 wave to a new high, fakes everybody out, a sharp decline in 5 waves, and I think that's what we have up here, by the way that looks. So now, if that's correct, if my assumption is correct, then you have a complete wave 2. Usually, after this, it leads to a powerful move because a lot of people got shaken out here. So now you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, maybe a slight ABC, and then you continue to go in this larger wave 3, which we'll see. We can start to make projections and targets and stuff like that, and that's just, fun and all that, but, we won't know. But, the idea is that I like it, and I wanted to stay long the Russell, especially, if we're getting into some kind of a rate cut environment, that should should look good. So we'll see what happens in here, but that's all I have for today. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll talk to you tomorrow, I guess. All right, bye.